Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Albert Einstein once famously said that madness is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to see different results. And yet that is exactly what government do. They keep trying the same old things that didn't work before and expect them to work again. There's one policy that's been tried in Scotland and failed, and they tried it again, and it's failing worse. And it's been such a failure that they're hailing it a success, and now they're trying to get the UK government to follow suit. Only this time it'll work. It will be brilliant, and no one will die. Except, of course, they will, because it's such a stupid idea. We're talking about minimum unit prices for alcohol. This is a policy that has failed, and it's failed massively twice, and it's going to fail again. These experts, and I'm going to put the word in, quotes, because they're not experts at all. If they were experts, they'd know it's a terrible idea. Are urging the UK government to adopt this minimum unit price that's been such a spectacular failure in Scotland. They're saying it will help save lives. It hasn't. And indeed, what you're doing is you are punishing everybody because of the problem drinking of one small group. Actual problem drinkers don't care. They'll take their alcohol and they don't care about the price if they have to steal it. Or they'll move on to harder but cheaper materials, shall we say. It doesn't work. And in fact, the only reason you would bring minimum unit pricing in is to create poverty and to create misery, because you don't want people enjoying themselves by having a beer at the end of the week. It's the only thing for some people is a quiet drink at the end of the week, and they can only just about afford it, and you want to take that away from them. This bullshit, and it is absolutely bullshit, about health benefits needs to be called out for the absolute lie that it is. There have been 40 independent academic studies of minimum unit pricing. Every single one of them says it doesn't work, or in most cases, it makes things worse. Now, they cannot point to one successful study. Not one. But that won't stop them attempting to bring it in, because, of course, they're not bringing it in for health. As I say, they're bringing it in for misery. And these public health experts in England are calling for the British government to adopt this failed and provably failed policy. Since in Scotland, since it was brought in, more people than ever are dying of alcohol-related problems. More children are being put into poverty. The children of problem drinkers are put into poverty. And, of course, drug deaths are through the roof because people can't afford alcohol. They're going to the corner boys and getting whatever they can get. Now, Greg Fell is the president of the Association of Directors of Public Health, and he says the evidence is crystal clear. And I agree with him. Yes, Greg, it is. It's absolutely crystal clear. It doesn't work. It absolutely doesn't work. Let him, if he's so clever, if he's so confident, if he's so able to prove it, point to one piece of academic research that proves his case, because there quite literally isn't one. Not a single one. Now, he's saying alcohol is becoming more affordable over time. What he means is, damn it, people are making sure they can afford alcohol at the cost of other things. And that will continue. He says deaths are rising at an alarming rate. Really? He isn't quoting numbers. He's just saying this opinion. And by alarming rate, does he mean by percentage of the population, or does he mean actual numbers? Because if it's just actual numbers, then in an ever-increasing population, that wouldn't be surprised. And of course, he's probably looking at a period that included the COVID lockdown. They were exceptional circumstances when people were stuck at home all day, had nothing else to do, probably were drinking more, of course. Weren't allowed to go to work, weren't allowed to go to the pub. You just sit at home, drink all day. There was no socialising, there was no doing. Let's wait long enough and take the COVID numbers out and see what happens. Alcohol deaths in Scotland reached a 15-year high last year. Several years after minimum unit pricing was introduced. That proves minimum unit pricing doesn't work. The evidence from Scotland is there. It doesn't work, right? They're claiming it reduces consumption. It doesn't. They're claiming it reduces deaths. It doesn't. And they're claiming it is the heaviest of drinkers who experience the most harm. Well, I could have told you that anyway. And it's the heavy drinkers, the problem drinkers that need to be concentrated on. Don't punish everyone. Don't give everyone a punishment beating because the people in charge are incapable of targeting help to those who need it. But like I say, this is nothing to do with health. It's everything to do with making people's lives just that little bit more miserable. It's a shame they lie, but what else have they got? The truth is too hard for them. As I say, the 40 academic studies, not one in their favour. But of course, they're going to keep pushing the lie, pushing the envelope. What do we think? Is it going to happen? It probably will eventually because, Labour, miserable people. Socialism, got to have people miserable. They don't want happy people. Socialists hate happiness. When people are happy, they don't vote socialist. And we know Starmer is the sort that wants to spread the misery. You can tell everything he does. Spread the misery. Make it bad. Make it bad. A human boot on a human face. Sorry, a boot on a human face. Forever, isn't it? 1984. Very Orwellian. But even Orwell said, beer and football. Starmer, well, he wants to destroy football by putting these people in, these political officers into football. And FIFA said, you do that, you're done with football. Now he wants to take the beer away. Nothing. Absolute nothing. It's going to be a void in this country. Thanks very much. Bye.